The upcoming stories can all be found in various religious texts, but the atheist content creators telling the stories are drunk. So, whilst the stories are genuine, the details may be embellished. A little. Welcome to Holy Spirits.
I want to offer a blessing to a man who can split the moon in two. This is a particularly good skill, one that I think everybody should practice, and I think we should raise a toast to the man who do that, so who can do that and who has done that, and we should all endeavour to split the moon in two. So if we can raise our glasses of whatever it is you're drinking, alcohol, non-alcohol, water, wee, whatever it is you like to drink, to Muhammad. People in Yorkshire, this is no word of a lie. People in Yorkshire will not drink anything else other than Yorkshire tea. They actually get properly offended if somebody offers you tea and it's not Yorkshire tea. It's almost like insulting your wife. It's that bad. It's Yorkshire tea is very, very well thought of in Yorkshire. My name is Richard Gilliver, and I am going to tell you my favourite Islamic story, which is the night journey of Muhammad. It's touched upon partially in the Quran and the Hadith, and the details of it are problematic, not least the transportation through the night on a magic flying donkey, not donkey. I'm going to piece together, it is actually a flying donkey, not donkey. I'm going to piece together the story as fully as I can. So, relevant texts for reference are the Quran, chapter 53, verses 1 to 18, and various verses of chapter 17, as well as portions of some hadith, including Sahih Muslim, the Book of Faith, chapter 74. There is not one universally accepted version of this story, so please forgive me if the version I'm going to tell is different to the ones you might have heard before. So I'm going to tell this in the style of a Dickens-esque ghost tale. It was a dark night. The man lay in his tent, sleeping with peacefulness of any man who sleeps beneath the desert stars. The tent stirred in the wind. Perhaps a voice not unlike a crow cawing in the distance, and brief, scattered starlight entered, patterning the man's body with a ballroom gown of glittering reflections. The man started. Sweat mocked his brow as he felt his chest opening. It is my time, he fearfully concluded, as he felt water from the Zamzam well poured over his heart. As the cascades cooled, his fear dissipated as quickly as the money from a persistent gambler's bank account. As the waves washed and waned over his heart, he was fortified with wisdom and the strongest of faith. He had a feeling of bliss, yet tinged with trepidation, as he had an uneasy feeling that something supernatural was about to occur. Even as the thought arose in him, a presence filled his room. Jumping up with a start, he realized that the presence was with him. Immediately he recognized it as the angel Gabriel. As always in the angel's presence, for they had met before many times, the man felt a whirlpool of fear, awe, and compassionate authority. The man mounted Buraq, to the worldly eyes a donkey, but to those intoxicated with the divine sight, it appeared as having a face like that of a human being and ears like those of an elephant. Its mane was like the mane of a horse, its neck and tail like those of a camel, its breast like the breast of a mule. and its feet like the feet of an ox. Guided by the hand of Gabriel, the man travelled through the 7 layers of heaven, in each meeting a prophet, named thus in the book of the old religion. First he met Adam, then John, he who baptized, then Jesus, then Joseph, and Enoch, Aaron, then Abraham, and finally Moses. Then Gabriel left him a moment, and the man was humbled in thought and word, daring not to glance or utter into the night, as he felt the presence of the highest of the hosts himself. The Lord did instruct the man, "Your people must pray, each 50 times a day." All dread dissipated, but as he returned to the earth, Moses chastised him. "You must return to the All-Father. Implore him that 50 prayers are too many." 9 times the man travelled between the Lord and Moses, and finally the instruction was decided. 5 times shall a man pray, and 50 times shall be his reward. The night waned, and the man fell into a deep slumber. As he woke, the shadows of his tent cast lingering memories of his journey, and as the sun rose and the shadows faded, a new light of renewed faith and devotional prayer came to him and his people. The end.
But they want to pretend like, they want to pretend like you and me somehow in our little fucking, homes are fucking causing all of this mass chaos around the world. No, we know exactly where this shit is happening. It's the Catholic Church.
Yeah.
It's the Jehovah Witnesses fucking temples, We know exactly where this is happening. We're not doing anything about the problem.
And with that, you ready to talk about the Quran?
Yes.
It got serious.
I'm
SR's a serious drunk, and Sydney's a chaos drunk. SR's a serious philosophical one.
I get too hardcore. Should I? I'm Secular Rarity, and this is the story of how Allah resurrected a donkey. Okay. So, look. There is some backstory to this, which is like, this is a part of the Quran where, like, it's actively attempting to show you that Allah is cool. So, like the rest of the chapter before this, like a couple of verses before this, it's like, this is why Allah is so cool, and the Prophet Muhammad is like, hey man, Allah did this stuff, and I'm so cool, I'm Muhammad. It's really not a good book. It's really not written well, okay? So I'm gonna read this just because it's so fucking short and it's so bad that I think you'll get why I like this story, okay? So, this is just real quick. The chapter is The Cow. That's the title of this chapter, literally. The title of this chapter is The Cow. So, this goes, or, are you not aware of the one who passed by the city, which was in ruins? So it's some dude walking by a fucking, city that has been destroyed. And this guy wonders, how could Allah bring this city back to life after its destruction? So Allah caused him to die for 100 years and then brought him back to life. Like, dude didn't even like question Allah or anything. Like, he didn't even like talk to anybody else. He was just like, man, look at that broken down shit. It's crazy that God let that happen. And then God was like, dead. Fuck you. Die for 100 years. So the dude's dead for 100 years. And he wakes back up. And Allah's like, hey, how long you been dead, bitch? And the guy's like, it's like a day? Like a week. Like 7 days, maybe. No. Couple of days. What I don't know. Not long. And I was like, haha, fuck you. Been dead for a long ass time, bitch. Like 100 years. How do you feel about that? Right? That makes you feel stupid. And the guy's like, oh. Yeah, I guess. I don't. Are my kids okay? Or is like, what is like, I had a job actually. Like, I guess it's done now. But like, okay, no, like 100 years has gone by. Like, what do you have to tell me? God, almighty, all powerful, you know? What are you going to tell me after 100 years? And Allah is like, I know about your kids. I know about your livelihood. Let me raise you a dead donkey. Do you see that dead donkey in the distance? At the guy's like, Yep, it's over there. What? Why? And Allah's like, I'm gonna make that bitch live. Look at that. That donkey's got flesh. That donkey's got hooves. Motherfucker's carrying stuff. And the guy's like, oh my God, Allah's so great. You're so great, God. That's the end of the story. Like, there is no build up to this. There's no further resolution and context. It's just like, man, this dude was walking by a fucked up town. He was like, why did Allah allow this? And then Allah's like, fuck you, die for a while. I'm going to bring you back. I'm going to bring back this fucking ass. I'm great. That's the whole story.
Yeah. Would you say, okay, so question, would you say that the story is anyway similar to the story of Lazarus? If so, what differences are there?
Yes. There are similarities in a lot of contexts, because the whole point of both of those stories is to show the power and the majesty of this all-knowing, all-powerful being. You know? And in both scenarios, they actually undermine the entire theology of both religions. In the Lazarus story, if Lazarus is able to be just brought back to the dead, like it's no fucking deal, like Jesus Christ's resurrection doesn't fucking matter as much. And Paul says that himself. He says, if Christ's resurrection is in vain, then, you know, you Christians are a fucking joke. And maybe not verbatim, but also, like, in the Quran context, like, Allah is the sustainer. Allah actively chooses every single instance that happens in reality around us, which actively contradicts so much of the Islamic faith. Like, if Allah is choosing to allow all of these things on a regular basis, it cannot adhere to the strict understanding from the Quran. Like, Allah must like and care about all of the infidels, because why else would they would they prosper? You know, like.
Well, he allows all of that to happen. Yeah.
Right. And not just allows, but he actively is a part of making it happen. I mean, it's
this would actually be a really good discussion, just like outside of the story, talking about, you know, there are distinct differences between like the Christian and the Muslim God in that respect. Like, there's definitely on the Christian side, there is more of an expectation that God will adhere to the law that he passed. And in Islam, there's the law for humans, but it's like things that happen are within Allah's ability to do so.
And that's part of that comes down to abrogation. That is a fascinating concept in the Islamic theology that does not exist in the Christian concept. The idea of abrogation is something that is instilled in a lot of deep Islamic theology that does not matter for Christian text. The idea that a later revelation could alter or recontextualize a previous revelation is not the same. There are many Christian. I mean, we talked about this about the Methodists and shit, about being a lot more chill, you know, than the Baptists or non-denominational or shit, and a lot of Islamic theology that is more humanist, more scholarly. I don't want to say it like that. That feels a little shitty sometimes, but it is. It's more scholarly. Like they've studied it more, but you realize that what you have is you have this very theological perspective writing these surahs. Like, the chapters are purposefully written from a context that is the same as Matthew, you know, the same as Matthew writing from Mark. Like, the purpose of John's gospel, whoever the fuck wrote that, is so radically different from what Paul and Mark were writing.
Yeah.
There's no question. And that is evident in the Quran. But the fact that there has been such a stronghold on the historical and narrative structure for hundreds of years in terms of the Quran. Like, the first place that the Quran comes to us is from a conquest. I mean, there's a motherfucker out there that's just like, whoa. We need to write this shit down before everybody dies. So he goes out there and he kills a bunch of motherfuckers. And then that's how we get the first, you know, cohesion of the modern Quran. But that doesn't talk about the palimpsest, Sanaa. I'm too drunk to remember it now.
This is where this is really funny.
Yeah. There's palimpsest. Just look it up.
Mm.
It's Sanaa.
Google it.
Palimpsest, I think that's what it is. But it palimpsest Quran. I swear to God, you'll fucking find it. But there's this old document, where you can see somebody has like wiped out some of the old Quranic verses, and they've written new ones. And while we don't have as much of that with the Quran as we do, the Hebrew Bible and the Christian Bible, there is a lot of that. And the more that scholars are looking into this, like there's more of a growing consensus that Muhammad might actually be a mythological creature. I still have to tell the Islamic one. I haven't told the.
You told it.
One. No, I didn't. I swear I didn't.
I'm pretty sure you did, but okay. You want to tell it? You want to tell it? Okay.
I swear I didn't.